Thank all of you for being here this morning. You know, sometimes we get together and we say we're celebrating something, and it feels like a celebration sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. Well, we are celebrating something this morning, something that is truly extraordinary and momentous for us in the state of Louisiana. And I'm happy to be here to discuss with you the kickoff of our efforts to extend the age of foster care to 21. We know it's the right thing to do, but we've got to do it in the right way. We've got a really good start on it. And look, everybody here is an advocate for our children, and especially in the foster system. I will tell you that, like probably most of you, I was extraordinarily blessed to be raised in a family with a loving mother and a loving father and 7 siblings, and we had everything in the world that we needed. But that does not represent the way everyone lives. But it is, I think, the ideal, and we should try to make that available to as many people as possible, including especially those in the foster care. And what I try to remind people is a foster child, look, all children are special. They are all brothers and sisters in Christ for me as a Catholic Christian, but they are all special. But foster children are in the state's custody. So in a very, very real way, those are our children. And as governor, I take that very personally, and I know that Marketa does, which is why she's so passionate and does such a good job. So the work that we're doing says much about our commitment to Louisiana's children, our children, and certainly the future of our great state. And as any parent of a young adult, and I've got 3, from 16 up to 26, I think she is. Don't say I didn't. I think she's 26. But if you're a parent of a young adult, you know that before they're 18, they still need love and attention and support. And in fact, the more we learn about the science, about brain development, the more we know how much these children still need from us and from a structured support system. Which is why we're raising the age with respect to juvenile offenders. Because a 17-year-old, by default, should be treated as a juvenile, not an adult. And so this sort of plays into everything that we're doing. And, you know, after the age of 18, just because of the way society is and what risks are out there, what temptations, what influences, many kids may need it more after 18 than they needed it before. So the transition into adulthood, as we all know, isn't easy. It's not easy for anybody, but just imagine what that's like for someone in the foster system who may be there because of abuse and neglect in the first instance, may have been in many foster homes over the previous several years, and think about the hardships that they've had to endure by the time they are 18 years old. They continue to deserve someone in their corner. And that's what this is about. Someone in their corner to guide them through life's challenges and celebrate their triumphs, and just make sure that adulthood is something that they can reach in a good fashion. Right now, there are about 175 young people in Louisiana every year who turn 18 while they're still in foster care. And we want them to have the foundation and support that we give our own children. And in fact, I just told you a while ago, they are our own children when they enter this pivotal time in their lives. That's why I included Senator Regina Barrow's legislation in my package this year. And Senator Barrow is here with us this morning. Thank you so much, Regina. Because we don't want to just do it, we want to do it correctly. And we need to know how much we're going to have to invest additionally into our foster care system to do it appropriately. But so her legislation created a task force to really study how are we going to move the age of foster care to 21 in the state of Louisiana. and I was very happy to embrace her legislation. And secondly, Senator Gaddy is here this morning, and he filed a bill that actually keeps in foster care our youth until they get a high school diploma or until they reach 21. That is the law now, and we have funded it. So, Senator Gaddy, thank you very much. So what does this tell you? We got Senator Gaddy sitting there right next to Senator Barrow. One from Bossier, one from Baton Rouge.
I'm the one from Bossier.
One a Republican, the other a Democrat, but both equally committed to this issue. You know, I often say there's so much more that unites us than divides us if we'll just focus on those things. This is an example of us coming together regardless of party and championing our children. And so thank y'all very much for your work on this, and really the entire legislature for what they've been able to accomplish. As you know, we have a responsibility to ensure that the youth in our care have the foundations that they need to get the very best possible start in life. And that certainly means connecting them with housing, education, nutrition, and so many other services that they may need, whether it's mental health, you name it. And by the way, foster children are not unique in this. There is not a family of any size in Louisiana or in our country today who doesn't have someone dealing with mental health issues or some sort of an addictive disorder. That is just the way that is. So we're grateful to have the support of so many diverse stakeholders, because it's going to take all of us working together to build an effective plan and do this correctly. And we're also fortunate to have the support, the guidance, the expertise of the Annie E. Casey Foundation, our partner in this critical work. You know, they were here working with Marketa in the immediate aftermath of Katrina. And they have been here with us ever since. And we're grateful that they're guiding us as we launch this next leg of our journey to do the very best for our foster youth. So I want to thank everyone who's committed to supporting this effort and tell you that we're going to continue to make sure that we are, as a state, doing everything that we can, everything that we should for our foster youth. One of the things that we're doing is trying to make sure that they find those loving forever homes too. And many of you may not know this, but it will also demonstrate, I think, the level of commitment, professionalism that Marketa and her entire staff have at the Department of Children and Family Services. So 2 years ago, in my first full year as governor, we stressed the importance of the foster care program and adoptions. And they worked really, really hard and set an all-time record for the number of adoptions out of our foster care program. And then last year, they broke that record. So with 753? 771. Now, I don't know what's going to happen this year, because you can only break records so many years in a row, but it demonstrates just how importantly we take this. And lastly, what's been very difficult is we've done this under severe budgetary constraints. So if you look at the progress that we've made, and then you consider that 2.5 years ago when I came into office, we were looking at the largest budget deficit in our state's history that exceeded $2 billion. So it demonstrates that you can do great things, even in tough times, if you have professional, committed people who are absolutely dedicated to it. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't, as you are able, invest more in that process so that those same people can do more. And I am very optimistic that now that we have budget stability and predictability, that we are going to be able to do more going forward. So I just want to thank you all again for being here. I'd ask you to continue to join your prayers to mine for our state and for everybody in our state, but especially for our foster children, that we will better serve them tomorrow and the day after and next year and the year after that. God bless you. Thank you very much.